Hello everyone. In this video, we will be discussing everything you need to know as an introduction before you start your preparation for this GATE examination, GATE architecture and planning this year. This is RH Chandar from KP GATE classes, and let me take you through the pointers which we will be covering in this video. So first thing we will be looking into is the structure of the question paper. The structure of GATE architecture and planning question paper, because there have been a lot of updates in the recent times. Some changes were introduced in the year 2021, where for the first time multiple select questions were introduced. Some changes happened in 2022, wherein the question paper structure was bifurcated into common part, architecture and planning part. So there are many recent changes, so you need to first get updated with the changes in the structure. What is the structure of the question paper as it stands now for this year's GATE examination? That's the first thing we will be discussing. The second point we will be looking into is the syllabus. So there is an official syllabus published by the GATE examination, by the GATE conducting authorities. So you need to first know the official syllabus. You need to get a full understanding of it. So we will briefly discuss about the official syllabus and the structure for it. That's the second point covered in this video. Thirdly, and most important, I would say, it is an analysis of the marks distribution. So this is very important to finalize your strategy. So if you are doing your self preparation, or even if you are enrolling into our coaching program at KP GATE classes, it is very important that you have your own strategy. So if you are joining into our classes, obviously our faculty team have a framework based on which you will be going through the preparation, but it will be even more crucial if you're doing your self preparation. So what is the marks distribution? So it's an analysis of the recent changes in the pattern of the question paper. So we will focus on that marks distribution in the third portion, and finally we will have a quick summary of all the points which we discussed. So some important pointers which you need to remember in the preparation for the GATE examination of architecture and planning. So that's the structure of this video. So let us go through the details one by one, starting with the question paper structure. That's the first thing we will be looking into. So if you are aware, the question paper as it stands now, GATE architecture and planning, there are three parts which you will be having in the question paper. The first one will be for everyone. It is compulsory for everyone to attempt. All the students who are writing this, who are attempting the GATE examination, can access or should answer this part, that is general aptitude. General aptitude will have a total of 10 questions, and if you look into past 5 years or even before that, always general aptitude has been a part with only multiple choice questions. There were no NAT, numerical answer type questions, or multiple select questions. I hope you are aware with this. There are three types of questions in GATE question paper. That is multiple choice question, where four options will be given and one answer will be correct. Multiple select question, where four options will be given and either one option can be correct, two can be correct, or three can be correct, or all the four options can be correct. Remember, even in multiple select questions, there is a possibility of having only one correct option, one correct answer. That has been already happened in the past papers also. So multiple select doesn't mean you have to select multiple options. There can be one option also correct. That is multiple select question. And then you have numerical answer type questions, where you will not have any options. You need to type in your value as an answer into the question. So these are the three types of questions in the GATE question paper always. So this multiple select question was introduced just in the year 2021, not before that. And remember about negative marking, only multiple choice questions have negative marking. The remaining two types have no negative marking if you have a wrong attempt. So that's a brief idea on the types of questions. So general aptitude, 10 questions always have been of multiple choice type only. That is, they will be having, all the 10 questions will be having negative marking. So 10 questions will give you a total weightage of 15 marks. So that's about the first part. That's general aptitude. So all these 15 marks will be carrying a burden of negative marking if you have an incorrect answer. Coming to the common part, again, this is for everyone who attempts GATE architecture and planning question paper. Part A, that is common part. This will be having a total of 39 questions. And from these 39 questions, these 39 questions will be a combination of numerical questions, multiple choice questions, and multiple select questions. As far as the distribution, marks distribution analysis, how many questions with negative marking, how many numericals, we'll do this complete analysis in the next part after the syllabus. So first 39, remember that there are 39 questions which you need to answer in the common part, and the total weightage carried by the common part is a maximum weightage of 60 marks. So that's the part with the maximum weightage in the GATE question paper. You have to have a special emphasis on the subjects of the common part to score well and to get a good rank in the GATE examination. Part B, finally, you will be having two options. Now this is where you will have a choice. You can either select part B1, that is architecture part, or you can select part B2, that is planning part. Now which part to select, what should be your strategy regarding selection of part, we will discuss that towards the end within this video, in this introductory video itself. But before that, let me tell you that there will be two parts and you can select any one of these parts. You can view as of now the question paper structure, how it is in GATE architecture and planning. You need not tell which part you will attempt while applying for the examination. So in the application portal of GATE, you need not tell, you can take the decision of selecting which part to answer during the examination itself. You can tick any one. So you'll have both the options, both the question papers. You can select any one, either architecture or planning, and answer the questions. However, as far as the question paper structure is considered, there will be total of 16 questions which you need to answer, which will be a combination of 1-mark questions and 2-mark questions, and it will be a combination of multiple choice, multiple select, and numerical type. All the three types of questions of both 1 and 2 marks weightage will be asked in both part A and part B. And in part B, these 16 questions will give you a total weightage of 25 marks. So that's about the question paper structure and the marks distribution. You can say 60 marks is the maximum weightage for the common part, 25 marks for the part B, that is architecture or planning, 15 marks for general aptitude. So the total weightage of the GATE examination, it will be an exam for 100 marks. So it's an exam for 100 marks. Even if you look into GATE architecture, generally the first rankers have scored something around 75 to 80. So 2020 GATE 2023 first ranker scored a mark around 75. GATE 2022 the first ranker scored a mark around 80, 79.67. So it is generally in that range. Even if I talk about first ranker, even the first rankers do not score above 90 in GATE architecture, at least in the recent past. So 100 marks examination, what should you target first? For any competitive examination, it is very crucial to set a target. Now based on the marks, the rank may change. Sometimes with a 60 mark you will have a good rank, sometimes with 60 marks you might not have such a good rank, so that might change. But it is always advisable to set a target above 70 marks. Above 70, if you're scoring, you can for sure get a double-digit rank on that very easily, and most often you can also get a single-digit rank with marks above 70. So set a target. If you're preparing with dedication, set a target of 70 plus and go accordingly. So that's about the question paper structure for GATE architecture and planning. So be aware of this distribution into common part, architecture and planning part, and general aptitude. So that is step 1. Step 2, once you know the question paper structure, now you need to know, you should get an understanding of the syllabus before you start preparing for the examination. So if you look into the syllabus, as I told you, there are 4 parts. So there are basically 3 parts which you need to answer, but you can make a selection out of architecture and planning. So let me go part by part. Part 1, which is a common part for everything, that is general aptitude. General aptitude will be having a in the official syllabus. So I have official syllabus published by the GATE on the GATE portal. You can check that official syllabus as well. For general aptitude, there are 4 parts: verbal ability, quantitative ability, analytical reasoning, and spatial reasoning. Verbal ability is basic English, simple. There are 2 to 3 questions generally on simple English. Quant, where basically simple math based questions are asked, 1 to 2 questions or 3 questions on that. Then 1 or 2 questions from these 2 topics as well: analytical reasoning and spatial reasoning. Analytical reasoning and spatial reasoning were recently added into the GATE pattern, probably in the year 2021 itself. So just 2 or 3 years ago it was added. So ensure, don't just learn or don't just practice verbal and quant questions from the past GATE papers. You should also have a special emphasis on practicing the reasoning part, which was introduced in 2021. So be aware of that minor change in the general aptitude part. The reason I'm saying you should practice all these 4 parts is because the 15 marks of weightage from general aptitude, that is very crucial in getting a very good rank. Good rankers have always, or in most cases, there are very few exceptions, most cases have scored a general aptitude score of 12 plus, 12 marks plus. So you should ensure that you will score 12 plus in the general aptitude. There are many students who have done wonderful in the architecture and planning part but have lost the they did not get a very good rank just because they did not do well in the general aptitude. That has happened to past students as well. And historically, good rankers have always have a general aptitude of good marks. So target for 12 plus marks in this general aptitude part. That is something which you should always remember. Now the only way to go about general aptitude is focusing on practice. It's very crucial. Even if you attend the classes, even in our coaching classes, we do conduct classes for all the quant and reasoning part as well. So even after classes, we recommend students to focus on practice. That is very crucial. So right away before your preparation, set a target that on daily basis you should at least spend half an hour of time during the course of your preparation, minimum at least 15 minutes to 30 minutes at least on general aptitude, because it requires continual practice. These are not topics which you will learn in a single day and score well. To get the target of 12 plus, you should have a continuous practice of this part. So that's about the first portion. Coming to the second part, that is common part. As I told you, common part is very crucial because it has the maximum weightage in the gate paper. It has a weightage of 60 marks. If you look at the official syllabus, there are 7 sections mentioned in the common part. That is architecture design, which includes basics of architecture and standards related to architecture; construction management and estimation. Construction management, where you have critical path method, PERT, and estimation concepts. That is the second section. Third section is environmental planning, where you have the topic of environmental impact assessment or ecosystems, environmental pollution, sustainability. These are the topics covered under environmental planning. The third topic, sustainability, has always been an important topic, not only in GATE, in all the competitive examinations. It is becoming a topic of importance. So even in GATE paper, there have been questions always on sustainability and related to it. Sustainable development goals, if you look into past 2 papers, there have been questions on sustainable development goals. So that's also written in the syllabus. So all these are covered in the third section. Section 4, you have landscape and urban design, where you have landscape architecture and also the concepts and theories related to urban design. Fourth, section number 5 is planning. You have the basics of planning, the planning theories, and very important planning, say the principles of planning, and also the guidelines for planning. That's the section 5. Section 6 is housing, where you have the housing, real estate valuation, and also numerical part is important in housing. So housing part, where you have the estimation of housing units, dwelling units, the standards for housing, and all these are covered in the housing section number 6. Finally, you have section number 7 in the common part, that is services, which includes varied topics ranging from water supply, solid waste management, sewage treatment, or HVAC, or say HVAC actually is in the services of architecture part, but the remaining water supply, sewage treatment, or say solid waste management, these are the topics. Even basics of transportation, all these are included in the services and infrastructure services part of the section 7 in the common part. So that's an overall idea on the syllabus of the common part. It includes both the topics of basics of architecture and planning combined, so it is for everyone. GATE architecture can be written by architecture BR graduates and also B plan graduates. So for ease of B plan graduates, this introduction was done in 2021, in 2022, division into architecture B1 and B2. So let us now go to part A. So I told you about part A. There are 7 sections, and I briefly discussed the subjects which are covered in this. Let me tell you, add on one point for the common part. If you observe the past 2 papers, that is GATE 2023 and also GATE 2022, numerical questions are concentrated on few topics. So if you analyze the syllabus, all these are also important to strategize your preparation. So if you analyze the syllabus of the common part, there are very few topics or few subjects which are numerically strong or numerically important. Example: services, housing, construction management and estimation. Construction management and estimation is very crucial and very important from numerical point of view. Approximately 50% of the numericals of the common part have been from construction management for the past 2 years, construction management and estimation included. So I think there were around 4 numericals in GATE 2022 from construction management and estimation, around 3 numericals in this year's paper. So a good number of questions are of numerical questions are concentrated on the subject of construction management, particularly construction management and estimation. So it's a topic of importance from numerical point of view, which are important, and which is a scoring area in the paper. So analyze the question paper, recent trends, and prepare a strategy. Know subjects important from numerical point of view, how to prepare a subject, right? All these are important to create a boundary for your preparation. So that was an overall idea on the common part. Now moving on to part B, that is architecture part and planning part. So part B1, that is architecture part, has 3 sections: B1.1, B1.2, and B1.3, that is history of architecture and contemporary architecture, structures and building construction, building materials, that is B1.2. B1.3 is services, which includes various topics like lighting, acoustics, so it is building services, which you basic climatology, all these are included in the part section B1. 3. Some part of climatology like climate responsive design and all, they are included in the common part under environmental planning. So if it's subject of climatology, if you take, some part is in the common part, some portion of it falls under the architecture part. So the boundaries are not very rigid in many subjects. Moving on to part B2, there are 3 sections again given in the official syllabus. That is regional planning, which includes the basics of planning again, planning theories again, PTM, planning technique management, which includes survey, GIS and all these topics, transportation, which includes the advanced topics of advanced part of transportation. So you see, there are many subjects which fall under common part and also part B. Like for example, transportation is mentioned in services also in the common part. Transportation is also included in the part B2. So the basic topics of transportation can be asked in the common part. Advanced topics of transportation has become a topic of importance in the planning part B2. So advanced topics of transportation are covered in this particular portion. So that is about not only transportation, even if you look into topics like water supply, the term water supply, if you look into the official syllabus, it is written twice. Once in the common part it is written in the services part, once in the architecture part it is written in the services. So same word, same subject is mentioned in multiple say parts also, common part and also architecture part. So it is very important to analyze and understand which subject falls under which portion, or you need not we'll come to the strategy of selection of the part and preparation regarding that towards the end. But let me tell you that there are topics which fall under common part A and also part B. So that's about the syllabus of the examination which you need to be aware of. So download the official syllabus. We at KP Gate classes, to simplify this confusion, because some subjects fall under part A and part B, so it creates a confusion to students. We recommend students to have a holistic approach, because there are questions, there are deviations also for your information. For example, in GATE 2022, there was a 2 marks question on air conditioning. Air conditioning is mentioned in the architecture part, but there was a 2 marks question on air conditioning asked in the common part. Not only that, there are reverse deviations also, like estimation, and there was a question on valuation part, which valuation actually comes under the common part in housing. That question, 2 marks was asked in the B2 part B2. So there are deviations always. I'm not saying 50% of the question paper will not follow the syllabus structure, but yeah, there is a 5% deviation in the question paper always. There can be questions of part B asked in the common part, questions of common part asked in part B. That has always happened. Even a contemporary architecture, even though contemporary architecture is mentioned in the architecture part, there has been a 2 marks question on contemporary architecture for the past 2 years. In GATE 2023 and also GATE 2022, there was a question on contemporary architecture asked in the common part itself. Right? So there are always deviations. Because of this, we recommend students to have a holistic approach. Overall, it is advisable that you cover everything as much as possible. That's number 1. And also number 2, because there are subjects which fall under both the portions, to have a clarity, we at KP Gate classes follow a 24 subject structure. We have divided the overall syllabus into 24 individual subjects, and we cover the topics subject by subject. Obviously, you can have a selection, like for example, if you are determined that you're preparing only for the planning part, that is part B2, you can probably leave out or not emphasize a lot on some subjects like structures. You can understand the basics of it, but not do a lot of hard work on that area. So that's something which you can obviously use as a at a personal level. You can have your own strategy on that. So that is with respect to the analysis of the syllabus. Let me now move towards the marks distribution. Now, selection of B1 and B2, the part B part, architecture planning, that is even more crucial in the recent past from this year. So the reasons for that, how should you select, we will discuss in the end in the summary part. But first, let me focus on the marks distribution. 2 important pointers, 2 important statistics which you need to know with respect to the marks distribution of the GATE examination in the recent years is, firstly, with respect to numerical questions. Now, there is a lot of talking going around that the number of numericals are very less, numericals are completely removed from GATE paper, you need not learn numericals. So some students are having there are people who are of this ideology of spreading such misinformation. Be informed, there is no major shift in the question paper in terms of number of numericals asked in the paper. If you look into, I agree that the number of numericals in GATE 2023 are less compared to the previous year, but that doesn't mean it will be that way forever. So let me just give you a small point of information regarding this to have a better understanding. If you look into past 3 years, why am I taking only past 3 years? Because the change of the question paper structure happened 3 years ago. So if you look into GATE 2023, the number of numerical questions are only 8 questions. And when I say numerical, I'm talking only about the core topic, that is part A and part B. I'm not considering general aptitude, because general aptitude, there are numericals also in the form of MCQ itself. So I'm talking only about NAT, numerical answer type questions, where you need to type in your answer as a value, which are numerical based questions. In 2023, including part A and B, that is B1 or B2, whichever you select. Then there are 2 numericals from part B, the remaining 6 are from part A. So there were a total of 8 numerical questions in 2023 question paper. In 2022 question paper, there were a huge number of numericals, 16 questions. And the year before it, 2021 question paper, the number of numericals were 12 questions. So you see, there is no major shift or trend which you see. There is always this deviation. So on an average, you will get 12 numerical answer type questions. That's an average number of questions. It can be plus or minus 4, like 4 questions less than 12 were asked in this year's paper. 2023, 2022, more than that, 16 numericals also were asked. So there's no major shift in the pattern of the question paper always. So it is there are less number of numericals in GATE 2023. That doesn't mean there will be less numericals forever in the GATE exam. The deviation which you saw, it is in line with the deviation which always happens in the GATE examination regarding every aspect. See, sometimes some subjects do not have any questions. So, and from the same subject, just next year you will have 5 to 6 marks of questions. That also has happened. So all these deviations are within the deviation range of the GATE pattern. So do not worry, do not get into the misinformation, and don't think that you will not get numericals. Though there is a deviation, but within the range. So remember, unless there is a major shift in the question paper structure, you should not change your strategy for preparation accordingly. So don't stop practicing numericals. That would be our recommendation. On an average, you'll still get 12 numericals on an average, slightly deviating from it, and that slight deviation in 2023 was 4 questions less. But in 2020, as I told you, last year there were 4 questions more than the average, also above average number of numericals. So that's about numerical. So don't get into the misinformation that there are no numericals or less numericals in the GATE examination. Be aware of this point. Number 2, with respect to negative marking, also there has been a shift. So if you compare GATE 2022 and 2023, the number of multiple choice questions overall, the number of questions with negative marking, it has increased by approximately 5%. So let me tell you about how many questions will be having negative marking. Let us try to get a stat on that as well. If you look into GATE 2023 question paper, the number of total number, I'm excluding again general aptitude. I'm only talking about the core subject part, that is part A and part B, architecture part and planning part, and the common part. So if you include that in GATE 2023, the total number of questions with negative, what are the questions with negative marking? Multiple choice questions only, basically. Only these have negative marking. So the total number of negative marking based questions in 2023 paper were 30 questions. Plus 10 questions of general aptitude, I'm leaving that aside. 30 questions out of 55 questions had a negative marking in them in GATE 2023. In GATE 2022, the question paper had relatively very few number of negative marking questions compared to this, 5% less. As I told you, it was 25 questions only. Only 25 questions had negative marking out of 55 questions. If you look into the year before it, 2021, there were 35 questions out of 55 questions which had a negative mark. So why am I taking past years again? From 2021 year itself, multiple select questions, a new pattern was introduced. Before that, only multiple choice and numerical questions were asked in the GATE paper. So as far as negative marking is considered, the point which you need to remember is, on an average, 50% approximately, slightly lower than that, slightly more than that, can be negative marking based questions. So if you look in terms of percentage in 2023, it is approximately 55% of the question, or 55% of overall questions of the core subject are MCQ, that is will have negative marking. Remaining 45%, there's no negative marking. Here it is opposite, approximately 45% had negative marking. So there's no major shift again which you see over here. It is within the range. In 2021, there were huge number of new questions with negative marking, more than 60%, you can say. Approximately 65% of the questions had negative marking. So there's no trend which you see, but yeah, sure, if you look into past 3 years, 2021 had the highest number of questions with negative marking. So negative marking based questions, you can say, slightly declined, but the average is still maintained. So do not think that the question paper is getting difficult, or the structure is having a major shift, or there is reduction or removal of numerical based questions. No such major changes happening. All these changes are within the range bound, uh, uh, say range bound deviations only are being seen in the gate paper. So don't think that there's any major shift. So this is a brief idea on the marks distribution. The idea here which we are trying to put out is that don't get into misinformation from unreliable sources. Get your information from authentic sources, or do your own analysis, and only then make a change or make a shift or build up your strategy. That is very crucial. So obviously we at KP Gate classes also don't spoon feed you everything. We prepare architecture part, we don't spoon feed you or tell you what to do. We just give you these insights. So in this video we are just giving you some brief pointers or important points of information for everyone, but obviously for our students who are enrolling into a coaching program, we will keep giving you insights at subject level. All of faculty will be helping you through analysis at each and every subject and concept level as well, which is important in the preparation. Not only learning the concepts, understanding these insights to build up your strategy is also crucial. So anyways, so that's about the marks distribution analysis of the question paper. Now we are almost towards the end part of this particular video, where we will be discussing a brief summary of the important points before you start your preparation or kickstart your preparation. Number one, selection of part B. Now let me tell you a very important, very crucial point here. IIT Kharagpur, so I'm talking about after GATE 2023, for admissions this year, GATE 20, after GATE 2023, IIT Kharagpur has launched a new course in sustainable architecture, MArch degree, and for that masters in architecture degree. As per the official brochure, now because this is the first batch, we are not 100% sure on the process and everything yet, but as per the brochure at this point of, by the time you're watching this video, the information which we have at this point of time, as per the official brochure, it is mentioned that the admission at IIT Kharagpur for MArch will be given only if you attempt part B1, that is architecture part. So that selection also has been given importance in the admission at IIT Kharagpur into MArch. At IIT Roorkee, there is no such information for MArch degree given. So even if you attempt B2, probably, because till GATE 2022 it was that way, there were no guidelines as to the significance of selection on your admission into masters. You can select B1 or B2 and easily get into MArch or MPlan with it is all interchangeable. But this year, as I told you, only at IIT Kharagpur this small change has been observed in the official brochure for the masters PG admission brochure. On the other way, if you want to pursue MPlan, that is MCP at IIT Kharagpur, Masters in City Planning, if you want to pursue MPlan, you can select any one, B1 or B2. So that also was given. So as per the official brochure, let me clear, do not have any confusion. At this point of time, all these are subject to change. The information which we have at this point of time at IIT Kharagpur, if you, as per the brochure, if you want an admission into MArch, you have to select part B1 in the so that is architecture part in part B. If you want an admission into MPlan, you can either select B1 or B2. You can select the architecture part or planning part and you can take admission into MPlan. But if you want admission in MArch, you have to attempt B1. That is something given in the brochure, but don't get misinformed. There can be, so try to pursue on this further. If there's any major shift or if there's any confirmation regarding this, we will put out a video again on the same YouTube channel of ours of KP Gate classes. Do follow us on this YouTube channel and on all our social media handles. But this is an information worth noticing before deciding which part to prepare or during your prepare. For example, if you are thinking that okay, let me leave my preparation for B1, let me focus only on the planning part. But in that case, you will not be able to take admission into MArch at IIT Kharagpur as per the information at this point of time. And this shift can also be seen in other IITs, might also occur in other IITs moving further. So stay informed regarding this before you make a selection of part B. The best thing from our end, what we suggest is don't finalize or take a decision at this point of time itself. Let us wait for better clarity moving ahead. At this point of time, have a holistic approach, prepare everything, because the selection of B1 and B2 also is done during the examination. So if you're strong in both, you can make a decision quickly based on the whichever part you feel you're scoring well in the examination, you can make a selection of it. So that is how your strategy should ideally be. That is number one. Number two, as far as boundaries of syllabus, I briefly talked during the course of this video that the boundaries are not very rigid. You can always get questions of part B in common part, like contemporary architecture, even though it is a subject mentioned in the architecture part, that is part B1. 2 marks question was asked in the past 2 papers each year in the common part itself. And on vernacular architecture, that also became a topic of importance. Vernacular architecture based questions are being asked in the GATE paper in the past 2 years. GATE 2023 also, 2022 also, vernacular architecture based questions have been asked generally in the paper. So the boundaries are not very rigid. There is question on vernacular architecture in GATE 2022 was asked in the common part. 2023 it was asked in the architecture part. So there are always deviations. Boundaries are not very rigid. This is actually one more reason why you should not leave out any subject in the course of your preparation. Again, I'm not telling that you should learn everything 100%. You can have a preference, you can focus less on some subjects, but do not leave out something completely. That's what we suggest you. Now moving further, the negative marking part. With respect to negative marking, I told you already that there's no major shift in the question paper structure with reduction or increase in the negative marking based questions substantially. It is within the range bound deviation. But the negative mark, with respect to negative marking, remember that multiple select questions and numerical questions have no negative marking, and these are the questions which you should for sure attempt in the GATE paper. You can take risk in these questions, but not in the MCQ based questions which have negative marking. So remember this point right away from the beginning of your preparation till the end of your preparation and the GATE examination when you're going to attempt it after your preparation for this year. As far as difficulty level is considered, now there's no reason for us to believe that the difficulty level is increasing or difficulty level is decreasing. If you look into past 10 years of question paper, there are question paper for GATE exam has always been a combination of difficult, medium and hard questions, or difficult, medium and easy questions always. So identifying the easy and medium questions and scoring well in that part, that should be your strategy during the examination. However, strategy during the examination or how to get good score in the exam, with respect to this we will have guidance sessions moving further in the academic year. Finally, let me point out the importance of notes and short notes. You can watch the interviews of our good rankers or of our past students who have scored very well in the GATE examination. All these interviews will be available on the same YouTube channel. When you watch these videos, there's one point you'll find common in almost all the interviews, and that is the importance of notes. It is very crucial that right away from day one of your preparation, prepare a notes. So whatever you're studying in the classes, in the online live classes or in the classroom program of KP GATE classes, when you're attending the coaching classes, even during the class, even after the class in your self preparation, even in the test series or test series or homework questions, in everything, whatever you find new should be added into your notes. Don't spend a lot of time in writing huge paragraphs. Prepare your notes with bullet points. Don't think that okay, we have a wonderful study material already, why should we write notes? Don't think that. Don't have such thinking. For sure you should have a running notes maintained through the course of your preparation, and when you revise your notes, you should also develop a short notes out of it. So there should be two-step approach. First, during the process of studying, prepare a notes. From the notes, you need to prepare a short notes for your end revision before the examination as well. Remember these crucial points with respect to notes. Last but not the least, so I highlighted it as well. So remember that you need to maintain a proper running note during the course of your preparation. So that is about the summary. I hope these insights as an introduction before you start your preparation for GATE 2024 in this video, you probably these insights are helpful for you. If you like a guidance session, or if you want further such videos, or if you want clarification on any aspect, you can always comment down whatever you have to say in the comment section of this video. Do like and share this video with all your friends who are preparing for GATE 2024, and all the best for your preparation.